Hi, I'm Ali Mackay from Ali Mackay Psychology, and here to talk about a couple of fears that people have typically when they are thinking about going to see a psychologist. Number one is, what's going to happen? What are we going to talk about, and will I have control of my information? So a couple of things around that I can hopefully give you some more information about. First of all, yes, you are in control of your information. When you come to see a psychologist, you will fill out a form for informed consent, where you will be given information about how your information is stored, whether it's electronic or whether it's in a paper file, how that information is going to be protected from anybody else finding it, and who is legally entitled to read that information. Typically, nobody else is entitled to read that information except for your psychologist, and you can ask them to leave as little or as much information on that file as you like. If you've been referred by a doctor under Medicare, the doctor will have a request for a letter after 6 sessions, and then again after a further 4 sessions in the current Medicare environment. And on that report, your psychologist is required to say that they have treated you for a particular condition and what assessment measure they used. They do not have to give any further information than that to the doctor, other than at the 6-week mark giving some progress. For example, this person scored at a 6 out of 10 for anxiety at the first session, and now they're scoring at a 3 for anxiety. So then the psychologist will be reporting back to the GP that there's been some improvement. But the details of what you're anxious about, or your feelings, or how any other thing that you choose to talk to the psychologist about, remains confidential. And the psychologist may make some notes for their own recollection, but they are not publicly available to anybody under any circumstances. The only exception to that is under our laws, which require us to report harm that is told to us that may happen to another person. That includes minors, like children, or if there is an intention to harm oneself or somebody else, and there's a definite plan in place, then we have to protect the public. But apart from that, which is normally the case, there's no reason for us to reveal anything to anybody else, and we keep a few notes for our own memory, which you can always ask us to read back to you so that you know what's written in that file. The other thing that people are often concerned about is whether the psychologist is going to actually dig deep into my psyche and open up doors to things that you weren't even sure were there, and perhaps leave you feeling vulnerable and exposed. If you have got that fear, you're not alone. A lot of people have that worry that when they go to see a psychologist, it's almost like open season for the psychologist to pry into corners of your life. So when you go to see a psychologist, that's not the case. Your psychologist is trained to listen to you and to take a history of your concern. How long have you been feeling this way? Have you felt like this before at other times of your life? That kind of question. And also to understand how you might have come to some of the conclusions that you've come to. For example, who else in your life might have been active in that situation or involved in that situation. There is a lot of psychotherapy that can be done treating a specific current situation without talking about all of the origins of that. And there are many situations in which a current troubling, say, pattern in relationships does require the psychologist to gain an understanding from you about how long that's been going for, and even understand patterns that may have been going on in other relationships, for example, in your growing up years and things like that. So those things will always be discussed with the psychologist, and your comfort level about talking about those things will be discussed as well. You remain in control of your information, and the psychologist has a mandate to look after your request for your treatment plan and to continue to work towards your goals for you. I'm Ali Mackay from Ali Mackay Psychology, and this tip is hopefully designed to help you to have a good experience with your psychologist and to know when you're being treated appropriately and when it's time to perhaps ask for some more clarification about where your information is.